Our series is entitled Arguing or Reasoning. The series is born out of several experiences I've had over the years where healthy reasoning degenerated into arguing, and as a result, relationships were damaged. You see, I believe that you and I were created more than just to work and get things done. We were created for relationships. And at the heart of relationships is this amazing ability that we've been given to communicate with each other in a very profound and deep way, much deeper than any other life form on the planet, in fact. When we communicate, we are enriched. Without it, relationships wither. With this wonderful gift comes the ability to grow personally, to grow in depth and to bless others. It also brings the potential for great damage. We must use this gift responsibly. You see, communication is really complicated. I guess I'm more aware of that than I've ever been in my life. Debate, and it can be very stimulating, but also can be very destructive. Unfortunately, it seems inevitable that misunderstandings will occur. I wonder how interpreters do their job. It's challenging enough to communicate within the same language, but to take words from one language to another and keep their meaning. Let me suggest that there's often a progression in this reasoning becoming arguing. First, there's a discussion, a healthy discussion, or maybe there's some disagreement. That disagreement is enhanced when there's misunderstanding. Misunderstanding can often lead to an argument. That argument changes its tone when anger is involved, and relationship damage can result. There are situations which lead to this kind of destruction. It's often difficult to distinguish between what was said and what was intended. Once something's been said, it's often hard to take it back and re-explain it. Poor choice of words often occurs when we're speaking spontaneously. Ordinary conversation is spontaneous, and it's often challenging to get the words that I mean that are going to mean the same thing to you. Interpreting the words spoken, more than that, just body language, the tone of our voices, it's really difficult. I said it before, language and communication is really complicated. Emotions cloud our judgment. When we get emotional, we're not even always aware of it, but it certainly affects our judgment in the process. Misinterpreting is compounded when emotions are involved and they become intense. Anger results. And here's the big one. Fear of rejection compels one to become defensive and combative, or to retreat in silence. Let me say that one more time. The fear of rejection, we call it insecurity. The fear of rejection compels one to become defensive and combative, or just to give up on the conversation altogether. Our goal in this series is to examine the difference between healthy reasoning and destructive arguing. I'm assuming, obviously, that healthy reasoning can be heated. It can have a lot of energy to it. We've got to find out how to keep it from becoming destructive in the process. After highlighting these differences, I'm going to seek to provide some insights which will enable us to use disagreement to its greatest advantage. And I believe these insights will be helpful to you in every area of life, from your marriage to the boardroom. As you apply these principles, your relationships will be strengthened. Your communication will be much more effective. So let's start by defining reasoning. What is reasoning? The action of thinking and talking about something controversial in a logical, sensible way. Let me say that one more time. The reasoning can be defined as the action of thinking and talking about something controversial. We admit there's going to be controversy, but we talk about these things in a logical and sensible way. Two most common types of reasoning are deductive and inductive. Simply stated, deductive reasoning is the result of forming a conclusion from the evidence presented to us. We hear several things, we have several thoughts, we connect them together, we connect the dots, we do the math, and we come to a conclusion. You said this, I said this, so therefore this must be true. Of course, the problem is that sometimes there's pieces in between that are missing or overlooked. Inductive is quite different. Inductive reasoning starts with an assumption. Deductive, we're moving towards a conclusion. But inductive reasoning is based on an assumption, and we begin looking for evidence to back up that assumption. Again, this can be maybe even more dangerous because often our assumptions are based on inadequate facts. Inductive, deductive. That said, I believe that reasoning is a very useful tool. Let's talk about 5 different ways in which reasoning can be useful. When weighing two possibilities, we're taught that God is love. We also know that God hates sin. How can God love and be love and also hate? We reason that together. We talk about that together. We try to understand the depth of what that means through the practice of reasoning. When we're trying to understand the motives of why someone said or did something, reasoning is a very effective tool. Why did he do this? What were the situations that led to he or she saying something or doing something? We reason that together. Reasoning is at the core of intellectual growth. I want to keep growing. And if you disagree with me, and I'm challenged to back up my thoughts, my thesis, so to speak, it challenges me to either grow or to say, wait a minute, maybe I missed it here somewhere. You're very useful for intellectual growth. Reasoning is very important for problem solving, weighing possibilities. What is the best and what is the good? What is the right way? What is the not such a right way? Preparation for a major task. When we're moving into something, some sort of a major task, reasoning is a very useful tool. In the Gospel of Luke, chapter 14, Jesus said this, "For which of you, when he wants to build a tower, does not first sit down and calculate the cost to see if he has enough to complete it? Otherwise, when he has laid the foundation and he's not able to finish, all will observe and begin to ridicule him." I'm focusing on that word calculate. It means to compute, to reckon, to do the math, reason together. Which of you will not do the calculation before you start? You should before you start any major task. Reasoning is a great tool for preparing to do anything major. I've got a great goal in mind for our time together in this series, a picture, if you will, that's given to us in James chapter 3 and verse 17. Here's what James says. Here's what I'd like to see each of us set as our goal for healthy communication, even when there's disagreement. But wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, watch this, open to reason, full of mercy, good fruits, and impartial and sincere. So there's the assumption there's going to be disagreement, but we can find this healthy wisdom, this wisdom from above, when we're open to reason, at the same time full of mercy, good fruits, and impartial and sincere. In our next presentation, we'll begin to discover what anger is by comparing it with reasoning. Using the definition we've just gone through, we'll talk about anger juxtaposed to reasoning. Thank you for joining us today. If you registered for this series, we'd like to invite you, our team would like to invite you to join us for a debrief after this session finishes. It'll be real time, we'll talk together, we'll reason together. You were sent, if you registered, an email with an invitation with log on information. Go to your email right now, jump on, join us. We're looking forward to talking with you. God bless you.